No, you might actually hear my voice before the night is over. But you'll be good. Thank you, John. I would like to open the meeting of the Tilton Budget Committee. Please let it be shown all members are here except for John Bossy. First order of the business is the meeting minutes. I would like to take the non-public session first, if that's okay with the committee. Please read through them. Do you want to look at them?
Collect them.
I'll give it to you. Are there any discussion, additions, corrections, or deletions to these meetings?
I'm going to show her.
I was going to say, can we?
Swear. I can do that if you want. Sure.
Okay.
It's just
Jane.
I'll pass it around. It'll make it easier.
Did you start with John?
It's just a grammar. I think this should be had.
Eric? Okay. Chair will entertain a motion to accept the minutes as amended by Jane.
Make a motion to accept the non-public minutes as amended.
Second?
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those, anyone opposed? Okay, if you would pass those to me, please. John, would you pass these over to Joanne?
I corrected the place on that, okay?
The second set of meeting minutes are the public meeting of October 8th, 2014. Please review.
a motion to accept the minutes as written.
Second.
Any discussions, additions, deletions, or corrections prior to a vote? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting minutes are so accepted. Okay, next item of business is last week. With the help of Catherine, we talked about the budget process. Do we have any further discussion that we want to hold on that topic tonight? John, you were going to get us some data, correct?
Actually, I was going to try and put together a letter. I discussed on the, starting at zero, brought up that we should get something together and send something out to the departments. Is there some data I was supposed to?
Also to see about getting the wage survey?
Oh, yep, that went out. I think did everybody
got
get the DF?
Okay, I haven't checked my email yet.
Okay,
So the wage survey has been out?
yes. And
Okay.
that is 2 years old. There's a new one that comes out this month.
This month.
Yep.
Okay, we'll have access to that? Okay, so we'll be getting access to that also?
It's over 4 years old. It's 2010, and the new one will be 2012. Right?
2012, and then it'll be 2014.
Okay.
Which one do you have?
It said 2010, and then 2012 is coming out.
Ooh. Okay.
Look at the email, because I didn't think it said that.
Current wage report is 2012. The 2010 is over there like this now. No, it's coming out in 2 years instead of every year.
Right.
So the recent one that we have is 2012.
What did you receive? Was it,
What did you receive?
because
I had 2 full reports of 2010. And maybe, let me relook at it, maybe I'm mistaken. And then and then it said on the email that 2012 is coming out soon. And the 2 files for 2012 were in a different format. And it was just like a synopsis, like the table of contents of what should be coming out.
okay.
Unless I was mistaken, maybe
Well, I can pull it
let
up,
me look
Mr.
at it
Mayor.
again.
Eric can look at it
It
too.
could be an error in the body of the email saying 2012 instead of 2014. Eric, do you have it pulled up?
I've got it right here.
I'm pulling up the introduction to the report, and then
I've got-
the email.
I have the letter from Joyce. Attached is a wage survey for 2012,
Oh, okay.
okay? They conduct the survey every 2 years. They're still working on the 2014. As soon as we receive it, I will forward it to you to send to the Budget Committee members,
Good.
Okay.
okay?
Excellent.
That's going to be forwarded to John?
Yeah, that's-
I think,
I got the same one, so.
yeah, it will be forwarded to me, or I actually, to Johanna will get a copy of it.
Okay.
Before I send it out.
Okay. Good, that was easy.
Job descriptions are on the website.
Okay, that was the other piece.
Yeah,
The email on that one that says where to find it.
I don't,
I don't think that we got an email, but somebody told me that it was on the website.
Let's send you an email to the,
I don't know, I'll look.
if you go into,
I'll take a look.
Okay, good.
on the left-hand side, tiltonnh.org, and then go staff listings and hours.
Hold on, slow down. Staff listing hours,
Oh, I gotta get there too.
Staff list.
notices and documents,
Yes.
police department, public works, highway, town hall-based positions.
Notices and doc,
Yeah.
right. So you have employee job descriptions, all of this, and then public works, town hall based, and then
Should look
What's your email?
something like,
there it is.
Maximum Stan at
Super.
Hotmail.
And then we got the one from Heather, with that, about one of the agencies. Did everybody get that?
Yes,
Excellent.
Good.
Everybody's
At Hotmail.
in here.
That's it.
yeah. John, thank you for the
For
good work.
20 years old. So I don't want to leave Hotmail.
Let us review that material, and we can further this discussion next week, once everyone has a chance to look at that. Is the committee okay with that? that discussion on. Catherine, anything to add to that discussion that you had last week? Pat, anything to add? Okay, moving on. Schedule, my favorite time of the year. Joanna has presented a schedule, both on, it was sent by email, and is also a hard copy labeled Sheet 1 at this point in time. Please review. My suggestion is that there are several that we do not usually have come in to make a presentation. Do we want to put them in the schedule to discuss for next week? That would be CASA.
I was thinking Old Home Day,
Sorry?
I was thinking Old Home Day, we don't need them. It's pretty straightforward.
Right,
She's
that's
in
what I'm
Florida.
thinking. If we can schedule a
Not yet, because it's just...
slot on our agenda for discussion of budget, we put those there to talk about, because there's several. One is CASA, the other one is the summertime concerts.
Do you want to just eliminate them now, because you're waiting to send out notices?
I have not sent out notices yet until we decide who you guys are going to meet with.
Okay, I would,
So
Go ahead, John.
That being the form of motion,
yeah, go ahead.
to not have, I'll make a motion not have Old Home Day Island Concert Series come in.
Second
And
that.
can we add to that?
Do you want to do them one at a time, or?
Let's take two, the first two, John. Go ahead and restate your motion, please.
To not have Old Home Day Island and Island Concert, oh, hang on a second.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So be it. I would make a motion that we do not have to see CASA, the free summertime concert,
Wait, you just did.
people.
Just did that
You
one.
just did that
Oh,
one.
I'm sorry, I'm getting old. Old Home Day,
Just did that.
We did that.
did that one too. God, I'm really good. Park Cemetery,
Yeah.
place where I need to go at this point in time. Park Cemetery, and that's it for right now.
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'd like to make a motion for Birchwood Kennels.
Okay, second that. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 There any opposed? Now, the only one I did not see was Silver Lake, the association. Do we need to see them in regards to the milfoil?
Can I clarify something on that?
Yes.
The milfoil, in order for them to, well, let me back up. Typically, if an organization like that wants monies for milfoil, they go to the Conservation Commission because there's a capital reserve fund where you store that money. I talked to this person and explained to them that that's typically how it's done. But they could come to the Budget Committee and say, we want a dedicated amount, just like we do for CASA and the others, so that there's their name, and there's their amount of money, and they don't have to go and ask the Conservation Commission and show that they have a valid program in place. So just so you know that the capital reserve sits there, but they actually could come before you and say, dedicate this to us.
Would it be beneficial to them to do
Could
so?
I comment on this, because I'm
I
the
really-
representative and on the Conservation Commission, so.
I really
Excuse me.
think that's your option. You know, if they have, you know, just a possible scenario, a valid enough program in place that's, you think is critical to getting rid of milfoil, the Budget Committee would make that decision. But I think if you do, you probably shouldn't put a separate line in there to add more to the reserve fund, if we're going to dedicate money to this group. See what I mean?
John?
You'd be on the Conservation Commission, Silver Lake's been doing quite a bit of work. They've purchased a boat and equipped it, and a lot of volunteer work, and they've been doing a great job at it. One of the nice things about having them go directly to the Conservation Commission is they review how it's being done, make sure, and have the information to make sure it's done properly. And if it was to just be a line item budget, you wouldn't have that. But we do have the money in there. I think it's 6,000 or 3 or 6,000. It's a substantial amount. And if it doesn't get used, then we'd end up with extra money in the conservation if we had created a separate line. So I think the best process is to keep it the way it is and tell them to go before the proper channels.
Okay, so your recommendation would be?
To just have them go before the Conservation Commission, use the dedicated funds for that.
So, from what I'm gathering, you're in favor of them not having to come before the Budget Committee?
There's no reason why they should, because the Conservation Commission reviews to make sure they're doing it properly.
I will entertain that motion, sir, if you'd like to make it.
Are we still discussing it?
Yes.
And that's what it seems like to me, as far as I could tell, is they are wishing to circumvent the Conservation Committee and give justifiable reasons why they should, and just automatic line item. Isn't that seems to me like that would be the point of the Conservation Committee, and, so that's just my 2 cents on
Yeah.
that.
I think it might also be a misunderstanding on their part.
I don't
That
think they're trying
wanna
to
make sure.
circumvent anything.
No.
I think they misunderstand the process, and they want to make sure they got it. And
Right.
they're doing a great job, so.
Explained it to them.
Yeah. And what I'm looking for at this point is whether we are not discussing whether or not they get the money, whether or not we need a presentation. If the committee says we do not need a presentation, then we can raise these points during the discussion that this is an item that should go back to the Planning Commission or the Conservation Committee. Okay? So, John, I will accept the motion not to have them present.
I'll second it.
Any more further discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Is it the committee's wish to schedule these non-presentations for discussion at our next meeting? Which will be next week.
Which ones?
That would be the kennel, CASA, cemetery, Old Home Day, concert series. Is there any that I've forgotten?
No,
It's not on here, but do you have the cemetery as your list? Yeah,
I think he said that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Park Cemetery.
Is there,
We have what, CAP and Windy Transit? We're going to try and get them in next week.
that way, if the public has a wish to come in and say something, they will be made aware that this is occurring, and we will discuss it, and if authorized,
I think it's not a bad idea to put on the schedule. I think it could be a quick line item on the schedule, and if people from the town would like to come in and discuss any of those things, I don't see a reason why not.
Pat,
Just have a question. Virtual Kennels is a contract between the town and, it's not an outside agency.
okay, so we don't,
Okay, so we don't have to even vote on that?
Contract
Okay.
for animal services, because we're...
Listed in the budget as outside agent, as animal control in the last,
Where is it listed?
It's listed in outside agency, animal control. It's con-
page 6 of the,
It really should be under,
Is Park Cemetery a contract item too?
Park Cemetery is also...
yeah, they're listed under outside agencies.
Yeah.
There must be a reason. They're just listed under outside agency. You have, on the budget itself, under outside agencies, you have Park Cemetery, Lake Children's Planning, Youth Assistance, Child and Family, Community Action Transit, Family,
I'll ask them because...
Franklin, Animal Control.
It shouldn't be on
It's
two,
there because they wanted to take it out of the police department. So there's really, for lack of better, there's no other place to put it. Do you know what I mean? I mean, they didn't want a part of the police because we don't pay them any extra to do any type of animal control we used to.
Right. If it's a quick line,
There's a contractual agreement.
It's up for bid.
Contract out to have done completely.
John,
It's up for bid. I think the Humane Society did approach us this year to see if we wanted to go back to them,
We haven't heard from
but
them.
we never heard anything since. And
They called us and asked us if they could send us a package, and that was about 4 weeks ago. And we haven't heard anything.
I think this actually, by putting it on the schedule of all those, putting it officially on the schedule if the Humane Society or anybody else wants to come in, and then I think it's probably going to be like last year. Motion, second motion, second motion, second motion, second motion. These are all, we got to do them anyway. And it gives any outside people a chance. I mean,
Catherine.
It's definitely something that the budget committee can look over the contract and what we're paying for. Are we paying too much, not enough? But we have to supply.
Or any changes.
We have to have somebody for animal control. The law requires.
And my suggestion is we schedule them, and we can have this discussion at that point in time. And if we, at that point, determine that it is not an item that we need to address, we can, and Pat, you may be able to give us a little advice on where it would go in the budget if it was outside the outside agencies.
and it gives an opportunity for maybe the police department or Parks Department or someone to maybe give us a heads up if we're not getting good service, or we're not getting, or maybe somebody plans on opening another cemetery. I mean, not as a joke, but, maybe another, who knows, or another kennel/Humane Society or someone of that nature has an opportunity, and if none come forward, then it gives opportunity for outside people to come in and say, well, we're not getting the correct service, or we think it should be, or we'll take it from there.
Further discussion?
Did
Hi,
we
John.
receive a contract from them yet?
Yeah.
We did?
We received a contract from the kennel.
For 2015?
Yes.
We did?
It's in our package.
Okay.
Do
Yeah.
they just house the dogs? That's their only,
Try and find homes, or...
They're right around the corner.
I know where, I know.
Humane Society's in Meriden,
Yeah.
Grace Road.
So we do have a contract that was in the packet that Joanna provided. So if we review it, we'll talk about it next week. Are you in favor of that, of scheduling them for next week? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Joanna, is that possible?
Yes.
I should have asked that before we took the vote.
Good.
Not for
Okay.
them to come in, just to,
Just to
a
schedule.
line item on their agenda.
Are there any questions, discussion, additions, subtractions to the schedule of outside agencies that we've been provided? With the addition that we have November 26th, there's no meeting. And Friday, February 13th, last day to hold a public hearing. Is that still correct at this point in time? His voice is going. You're loving this, aren't you?
It was like that 2 weeks ago.
What's that?
It was doing the same thing 2 weeks ago.
I know. February 23rd, 2015 is the last day to hold public hearing on bonds. Is that correct?
I don't know, I'm looking at the paperwork that used to be on the table that would tell us those dates.
It's on there. It's on the table. That's where I got the dates
There
from.
it is. That's where you got them? So that's what it is.
I'll put it back.
Okay.
It's right here.
Is the Budget Committee acceptable of these dates and the selections for those dates for presentations? So if accepted, next week we would have CAP and Winnie Transit System if they so choose to come in. Chair will entertain a motion to accept the schedule as written.
I make a motion to accept the schedule as written.
For,
Actually,
agencies to come in and make
should it be
presentations
as we changed, as amended?
as amended.
As
as
amended.
amended.
As amended, okay? Second, Stan?
I'll second.
Any further discussion?
The only other discussion I have is if there's a plan for individual departments, like if we send them a letter and when would that be? Because we have a pretty tight schedule up until December, so we would think in late December, early January for those people?
Feedback from the group?
Yeah, for
John?
like the Parks Commission, or any of the departments. So we've got room still, like the 17th.
Yeah.
Jane?
In all of January, so.
And it was just, I would think that select board, I guess it doesn't matter if they come in first or after all the department heads, because they are just basically, just a question and answer. Yeah, okay.
Eric?
That's the only question I had.
Well, for some reason, I seem to think we went to January last year or something, I don't know. Maybe it's just,
You have all the way up through January that you can schedule.
I'm just thinking that we went, maybe it's just because of weather, it pushed us into January, I think. maybe.
This was based off of the schedule that was developed last
I
year.
feel like we're missing someone, and I'm not sure where I can pinpoint it, but
I don't,
Not everybody is on this schedule. It was whoever you guys wanted to meet with last year.
Right.
Yep.
So, however you want to do it, you're free to do it. The only thing you've really got to keep your eye on is you want to have time for those public hearings, and you want to make sure that you don't set them just for the last date, because if there's a snow day that date, then you're dealing with that.
I think this looks fine,
yeah.
Okay.
because it gives us the month of January.
and the only other question I have, what was the cutoff for people submitting requests? We've passed the cutoff?
We
It was
are past the
October 1st,
cutoff.
right?
It was October, I believe it was October 1st was the cutoff, and then our meeting was the 8th, I believe.
Okay, yep.
So
And
it's-
then you're saying there's others that would want to come on the schedule that haven't. These are just the people we talked to last year. Like, I noticed Genesis isn't on here. That's just off the top of my head. Are we missing anybody else, or?
The best way to go through it is by this spreadsheet with everybody
Yep.
that's requested. So if you see somebody on here that's not on the schedule that you want to see, this is where you would find it.
Okay.
So, Catherine?
Time to bring this up. I was at a meeting today for Lakes Region Partnership for Public Health. The Ebola was a big topic. Enterovirus, big topic. Flu season's coming, big topic. In fact, they'll be having pods set up at Munisquam Middle School on the 28th to discuss flu shot. Pods is points of distribution. There is an emergency response team out there called CERT, and it's part of this Partnership for Public Health. They are, I always forget, Community Emergency Response Team is what it stands for. They are a group that comes out, they're all volunteers, none of them get paid. Whenever there's an emergency, big fires, the tornado, floods, they come out, they assist the emergency responders, they assist the victims. They do a lot of things. They go out and raise funds for their organization. For example, they're at the Timbermen's festivities as traffic control, and the Timbermen group gave them some money. Because of the Ebola and the enterovirus, they're going to ask for the first time towns that they serve to help fund them.
Okay.
I told them to send a request in, and it had to go to the Budget Committee. And it would be up to the Budget Committee whether or not they would add them to the schedule. I did tell them the cutoff was October 1st. Because of the emergent situation with these new wonderful diseases.
So they would need to fill out the forms, the financial forms that we would like. I don't have a problem with that, as long as they start the process that would everyone goes through.
I told them they better do it ASAP.
Okay. So if you want to prod them to get the forms from Joanna, so we can review and then make a decision. Is the committee comfortable with that at this point in time? Stan, you do bring a good point. We do have a packet from Genesis that was sent to us. They have not been scheduled. Before we continue on with the motion, do you want to reconsider the motion and add Genesis to that schedule? Thoughts?
I would like to wait, I would like to review, I have not reviewed the packet that Genesis sent us this year.
Okay.
I would like to be in a position to review that. If we could do it now, I will be happy to look through it now. But I would like to review this. In particular, I would like to see what their financials look like. Because in the past, that's been one of our concerns. They have so much money, why would they ask us for additional funds?
Could that be done by next meeting?
It could be done by next meeting. It could be from my perspective, I don't know about anybody else's.
Anyone not comfortable with putting this on the agenda for next meeting?
I just remember them off the top of my head, a quick look through. They're the only ones I can't see on the schedule who isn't, like Big Brother and Big Sister is not on our schedule, whether we want to see them.
They didn't submit anything.
They didn't submit anything, okay. Yeah,
My suggestion
sounds good to me.
is to discuss whether or not we put them in the schedule next week. Catherine, you want to get a hold of your folks from that group, and they get the paperwork together?
When I come in tomorrow, I'll have to do here like...
We will, I have no problems talking about that,
Yep.
Next week. Okay?
Get it in.
Is,
I would just like to make you guys aware that when Genesis has requested funds in the past and been denied, they have been very proactive in contacting the Budget Committee. I've already got an email from them stating that they do want to meet with you guys, and they're looking to do it. So I just want to throw that out there, that they're definitely looking, and if they request it, I know they requested a meeting in the past and were denied it. So I just want to throw it out there as past history, so you're aware.
excellent, and we'll make that decision next week?
Good.
If the committee is comfortable with that.
I think as of right now, we have a motion and a second to accept this schedule as
Written.
amended
Yes,
with the deletions of ones we don't need to see.
yeah.
And then I think after that, we can have a discussion of adding another item on our schedule for next week. We have review of ones that we've deleted off the schedule, and right after that, any additional that we may
Okay.
want to add to the schedule.
So
So
let's go.
at the end of next week's meeting, we can have our schedule locked in,
Excellent.
barring emergencies.
All we
Yep.
need is a vote right now. We've had a motion and
Yep.
That, okay. All those, any further discussion? If not, all those in favor of the original motion to accept the schedule as amended at this point in time, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. None opposed. Now, I'm sorry, I didn't mean no. It's one of those things, old age or Tourette's syndrome, one of the two. The next thing we're talking about is putting stuff on the agenda for next week. Talking about Genesis. Catherine, the name of your organization?
Sir,
CERT, as to whether or not we want to schedule them for a presentation.
Or any additions
Any additions?
to the
You know what
schedule.
CERT stands for?
Community Emergency Response Team.
Certified Emergency Response Team. Citizens.
Citizens.
Emergency Response Team.
Is the group comfortable with that? Okay.
I'd just like to say, page 9 of Genesis report. That's what we need to really go over. The portfolio.
Page 1.
Good. Jim was gracious enough to send us the financial reports. Please review.
I didn't make a copy. That's all I'll do. Yeah, this is September. I gotta wait.
Pat?
While they're looking at the financials, I'd like to take the opportunity to invite the Budget Committee to do a ride-along in the new cruiser.
Oh, excellent.
It's back and ready for work. It has the new Habis console in it, which you remember it takes away the computer going into the driver's seat. It's all in the console. Talking with the chief, we thought that it would be beneficial to those that have questions to see it hands-on, what the officers do, how they go about it inside working in the PD. So if anyone wants to do anything on an evening, weekend, Friday night, Saturday, whatever, let the chief know.
Good.
Can we play the theme song while we do it?
Yeah, that's in the front seat.
With the ride-along, what kind of time frame are we
Invited.
looking at?
You can go for how long you stay, unless there's something, an emergency comes up that you can't attend. There's been a couple of times I've been on a ride-along where I've gone to the scene. If it's safe, they can do it. If it's unsafe, they drop you off. But
They come back and pick you up?
you stay a half hour, go over, look at what they do, look at the equipment.
Good.
Or you can spend an hour, 2 hours riding, however long you want.
Good.
I would suggest go individually, not as a group. You'll get more out of it.
And that's what I was thinking, more of the 1 or 2 hours, so that the officer's not tied up, and they still can do their
They're
work.
still gonna cruise, they're gonna do their job, you're gonna be with them. And that's how it's gonna be.
Do I get
If
to
they get an emergency, you're going on the curb. You'll be in Tilton at least.
You're going with them.
Yeah, if they get an emergency, you go in with them, you know.
Only if I can get their ticket book on Chestnut Street?
I was,
I'm sorry, Pat.
I think we both, Catherine and I both experienced a few of those emergencies that we went along and just sat in the car and waited. But to watch, it's an
Yes.
eye-opener.
And I do praise the selectmen your Tilton alert system does work.
Yeah.
I got a phone call yesterday about the 300 block on Chestnut Street.
School Street, yeah.
It was very interesting.
Yeah.
So,
I have leads.
and what was nice about it was there was a return call saying everything is now is safe. Move on. Okay?
That was right up the street from my house. And I was at home when, in the back of the house with the doors wide open, and
With the camel hat on?
Just, I don't know if you're the proper person to suggest anything to, but I had no idea where the 300 block is, and I don't know if they maybe say between
Well, there can't be
road,
specifics.
no, but like Road A and Road B, between, Main Street and, South Main.
if you lived down School Street, you knew.
Yeah,
Freaked out my wife, because she's like,
the 300 block.
I didn't know we even had that, because I never signed up for it, and they called us. So,
It was funny because after that all happened, I was going down the main street and all the state police presence, all at Tilton House of Pizza, having lunch, and you see 5 cruisers out in front. So he said, okay. I said, crisis is over with. They're in for lunch.
Well, they had everything, dogs, everything, you name it up there.
Yeah. Are there any discussions or questions we have at this point in time?
It looks like it's pretty good.
Are there any concerns from the Board of Selectmen about the budget at this point in time? Our revenues,
I think if anybody's looking at the building maintenance,
Yeah.
you know what happened there, right? Building
Yeah,
maintenance.
that's why a lot of my questions have been answered on past meetings,
AC
past
and-
discussions, police vehicle maintenance, building. I think we're doing pretty good, actually. Legal expenses,
good.
they've all been explained. Would sort of like to get an itemized breakdown from Tim, if he can, of administrative miscellaneous expenses, because they're over 100% already. And still got a little time left in the year. But other than that, I personally don't have any other questions.
We can request that right from Tim.
Okay.
The request.
do you want a breakdown of the administrative?
It was the,
It's written, it's on, and it's, I think we have them. I don't have the hard copy, I haven't got it, but they're included in
oh,
it.
is it in here?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can see what they're spending on it in the back.
Okay.
Did you want the whole year, though? Is that what you're looking for?
Just
Hope you can go back
a
to
simple
all the
breakdown.
We get them every
So
month.
this is September, so August would have the same thing.
Yeah. So if you go back to your other months, you'll see the,
But if you
Detail.
want just it separate, you can go this.
No, that's-
one thing.
Well, I could always email Tim if I wanted to, can't I? Or should I go through Joanna for any requests?
Can't have that.
Yeah.
If you just wanted it separate, that.
Yeah.
Up to date from January. this would be-
Okay,
Yes, I don't have a problem with that at all, Stan.
okay.
Revenues on the equal plane at this point in time? No major changes in revenues?
Well, we're 80% collected.
What's that?
We're 80%, 80.6% collected. Which means we may be above, I guess, would be the trend.
okay.
If you can get the job.
That looks so much nicer though, even now, just a little bit they've done, cleaning stuff up.
Catherine, have any of the problems at the park been cleared up, or are they still?
Funny you should ask. There have been ongoing electrical issues for a number of years now. The theory is that when they pull the electrical lines through the conduit, some of those cables are broken and wires exposed, and over the years from whatever, maybe irrigation, installation, whatever, the conduit's been cracked, and it causes lines of the lights to go off, and it trips. And regardless of what we've done, we haven't been able to fix it, so, excuse me, the electrician over the past 6 or 8 weeks has been conducting tests to see if he can eliminate other things that might have been. Now he's pretty certain that it is water getting in there causing short circuits. So he's going to be pulling lines through. I'm not an electrician, so I didn't understand all of it, but it should fix the problem.
Okay.
I think it's, actually, I have the paperwork over there. Back there, I mentioned it.
Wouldn't the conduit need to be replaced too?
No, because you can put underground.
As long as the wire's
There's
insulated?
underground wire, you can put in, you put in conduit to protect the wire, but it also gives you an avenue if you want to chase more wire through. The problem is they only used 1-inch conduit. They probably should have used 1.5 or 2-inch. Because obviously it's so tight that, damaging the cables is a problem.
When do we get the rooms and tax
I think it was,
revenue? Rooms and tax, meals tax?
2,200?
Meals.
Get that
When do we get that normally?
split.
Because we just haven't received any of it yet.
There was just an article in the paper about that, too.
Catherine, while they were looking at this problem with the lights and that, did they look into possibly going to more energy efficient lighting while they're pulling that maybe they should be putting in a low voltage line? Go to LEDs or,
That last year.
did it help?
Bulbs, just to replace one bulb in any one of those big lights, I believe the bulb was about $200.
Yeah, because that's what,
And the cost of the electricity, to have those lights on, I mean, we were trying to shut them off earlier than normal, but it was the price now since we went and had the electrician go in and change it so that we could use a lower wattage bulb and still have the same amount of lumens. Brought it down to more than half the cost.
Did we get any rebates from PSNH for the lights?
is that because we
Wasn't
didn't
big enough
apply?
time, I guess. But we projected that we'd start seeing savings in about 3 years. Of the cost of having the
Oh,
project done.
price, yeah.
So another couple of years more.
Pat?
I stand corrected, Stan, under administrative miscellaneous expenses, if they use the Visa, it will only say First National Bank of Omaha miscellaneous expense.
Okay.
So I can ask Tim tomorrow to get us an up-to-date from January and send it out to you.
all right, thank you.
Because he'll have to go into the,
Yeah, I just remember one year we had a breakdown of,
because some is paid by the
card
Visa
for
and some is-
memorials or whatever it was. Yeah, okay.
So you'll send that to Joanna to have it dispensed or dispersed? Comfortable with that?
Yep.
Okay, good. Further questions, discussions, additions, subtractions, as my voice is subtracting, on the financial report? I will entertain a motion to accept the financial report.
Make a motion to accept the financial report as given.
Do we need to do that? It's just a draft at this point.
Yeah.
We don't have any jurisdiction over it.
Report's not a draft.
Yes, it is.
This
The
one
one
says
that we
draft.
have, and Tim's letter said this is a draft.
And
It says
I
it in
mean,
the headline.
we don't have to accept it or reject it because it has nothing to do with it. We can only review it, so.
We just reviewed it, so.
Okay. Committee comfortable with that?
Yes.
Just a review. Okay, hearing no objections, so be it. Okay, members of the committee, any other outstanding business that we need to discuss tonight? Any items from the Board of Selectmen that we need to discuss?
We're going to want to start looking into setting up the final dates for our public hearing. Just to toss it around, and I was thinking of like January 28th possibly, because February 13th is the last day. So everybody can take a look at that maybe.
Okay.
And that would be, still give us, if we have our regular budget final hearing on January 28th, we could, if there was bad weather, we could still do on February 4th, which would still pull us in before the 13th, and if we had the 4th as the bond hearing, then we could combine them both if it was bad weather, or still pushed out another week.
Are you suggesting that as a
So just take a look, yeah, tentative date for January 28th and
Joanna,
February
how
4th.
does that look from your perspective?
I think it should be fine.
Okay? Does the committee want to review this next week and set it as the date?
Yeah, and Joyce is good with it, too. She's,
Okay, so next week, think about those dates. If they're acceptable, then we'll have those dates set next week. The business, Pat,
There's one expenditure we feel that you should know about that was made a couple weeks ago from the police department. We replaced 7 tasers at $9,980 and got into a program with them. They're about almost $1,000 each, and then there's $205 warranty each year. At the end of 5, you get a new taser. We have 8 or 9 tasers now, 4 of which are working somewhat. You cannot get parts for them right now, and if the 4 fade out, we don't have any. So we purchased 6, they gave us the 7th one free, and we have to add the warranty on to that 7th one. So it came shy, just under, well, it was $9,982. We took it out of officer wages, because we have an officer that's been out for a while, and we had the money left from there.
Wasn't the final cost on each taser about $1,200 once you added holsters, batteries, and charges and things like
The
that?
whole thing came to $9,982 and some change.
Right. Well, I watched the
With the-
video, and it said, you guys sent the police to come back to find out what the final cost per unit was actually going to
So
be.
with the taser and the warranty, it came to about $1,200, a little over $1,200 a piece.
And then in 5 years, you've
In
put,
5 years.
it's just like we do with some of the other capital
Right.
things, almost, it's a,
You-
from what I understood.
Right. And we wouldn't be caught like we're caught right now, and
I picked up 7, and it was 9,000, that is about 1,200 each.
are all officers certified in the use of the taser right now? Okay,
they don't all have one, they take it as they go.
right, but they are certified.
they do regular trainings, I believe, and they are going to do a training with the new ones on the
That was
island.
the other question.
Yep.
I believe Selectman Jessman has been volunteered to be tased.
Yes.
No.
Well, it's interesting.
Corrected. We volunteered.
Well,
It
That's
was
because he fell
interesting
asleep at
because
the
I had a
meeting, so.
discussion with Chief Cormier because I had been watching TV and there'd been all the grandmother who was tased and somebody else walking away who was tased. And I said, how did that happen? And he said it was just improper training.
Yeah.
And he said that they're very careful in training our force on how to use them and when to use them because there's a right time and a wrong time and a right way and a wrong way. So I felt very comfortable knowing that.
Derek?
What happens if, God forbid, something goes wrong and something happens to poor Joe as a result of,
It's not going to happen to
No.
Joe. We're not doing it. If Joe-
Two questions. Has the taser ever been used? Has the taser ever been used by our force?
Yes.
Okay. The second question I have is, the breakdown of the tasers, was it normal wear and tear?
Yes.
That over a period of time, they
We're
just
talking,
gave up?
yeah, 2005, 2006 was the years when they were bought, so
Okay,
that's,
so this would be a normal replacement?
They've become obsolete.
Right.
Because now they have it, and we're limited to one company that
Right.
makes them.
And the other part that you said was that there was no parts available for many of them
Right.
because they're out of
Because
date.
they're obsolete.
This will now bring us up to the point where there can be replacement parts if needed. It does-
And we have the warranty. If something goes wrong, they just give them a new one.
The certification process, will the town be paying for that, or is that provided by the company? Liabilities package?
Anyway.
Okay, good. Further business for the Budget Committee? If not, the chair will entertain a motion for adjournment.
I make such a motion.
I'll second it.
It is not a debatable issue, therefore I take a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Go home. Bzzzt.
My question was, does it hurt to be tased?
So what happened on
It freezes your muscles.
How about?
That's it.
His house got broken into?
Here we go.
But people,
His house got broken into?
the sad point was that the officers who used it